I never realised Cascada was an actual band. I thought it was just that blonde woman.
I only remember from the Every Time We Touch video. She was up on the table.
Don't sing.
Oh yeah,
Don't sing.
Needlessly up on the
Acting
table.
like you didn't think it was a banger at the time, Jay.
No, but I'm telling Mark not to sing.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Fair. Don't deny. Let's just not, don't move too far away from Cascada. You'll be slandering. What's that other one? Special D. Come with me.
Oh,
You seem to be a big
Special
Cascada
D.
fan.
Look, that was that one.
need-
Did they have another one? Did they have, or was it just Every Time We Touch?
Oh, they had loads. Cascada have had loads of tunes. I can't remember any of them. Comment.
Comment with Cascada Tunes. Hello and welcome to the Balls Fantasy Premier League show. Mikey Trainer joined by James Carroll and Mark Farrelly. Mark, before we start, why don't you tell all the good people how they can get involved in our
tell them what's happening.
Yeah.
This is basically, we are here to answer your fantasy football questions. We are, if you're listening to us on the podcast, I'm afraid it's too late. You can't come up with any questions, but you can tweet us, Snapchat us, or Facebook message us anytime throughout the week with hashtag the ball bag to get your questions read out on air. We are the gurus. We are the people who know everything. We are the people who have no wins from 2 in the fantasy football draft, and bottom of the standard office league. So I don't know how clever we are. But anyway, get in touch with hashtag the ball bag. We're streaming obviously live on Balls.e and on the Balls.e Fantasy Football Show Facebook page. So you can comment in real time or throughout the week. Just send us any questions.
Well, before we start, I just want to say nobody cares about standard fantasy anymore. It's all about
I think a lot of people care about standard.
Just you.
A lot of people do.
But anyway, we have questions, and the first question came to us via that group, our tips and advice group that we have set up, and it's from a man who has split opinion here with this name. We don't know how to pronounce it. Richard Eveson is what I've gone for. Mark has gone for Richard Eveson.
I haven't even seen it. So
Well, what do you think
like
there?
Eveson would be like if he was from Kingscourt or someplace.
Eveson.
Okay, I'm being outnumbered here 2-1.
I
But
think
anyway,
it's easy, to
Richard
be
has
honest
gotten
with
in touch and he says, do you keep... This question straight away is going to be the number one question this week.
I know
I would say it's, do you keep underperforming big names, e.g. Harry Kane and Kevin De Bruyne? Usheen H21, is that a Twitter, I think it is, also got in touch saying, who is the big... oh, wait, that was a different question. Sorry, I thought we had another Kane-related question there. But anyway, the big question is, do you keep underperforming big names, the big two being Harry Kane and Kevin De Bruyne?
I sold Harry Kane last week to get in Lukaku, but I would be bringing him back in this week, possibly for Aguero. I don't know if I want to give Aguero some more time because he was good to me the first week. But Harry Kane is definitely worth keeping if you have him already, unless you have to get Lukaku in.
They're playing Burnley at home.
They are playing Burnley.
And Harry Kane's had 14 shots in the first 2 games, so surely he's going to have.
At what point, say though, Burnley go and poop the party there again, like Burnley at Wembley? That's a big day.
No, I'm sorry.
That's a big day.
Harry Kane is going in my team.
Okay.
Harry Kane is going
in my team.
Harry Kane's going to be the MVP at the end of the season.
I actually need to check and see. I already took Harry Kane out.
I took Harry Kane out of my team for Jesus. Jesus has been subbed off in both of the games so far. Yeah. Now, granted, he got subbed off at halftime because of the stupid red card.
Yeah.
But he is probably going to be subbed off in most games for the likes of Sterling or Sané when in the 60th minute or something. So there goes your bonus points, etc.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, Aguero's still king. You come with the king, you best not miss. I was right to buy Aguero. I was right to not trust Jesus, and I was right to not trust Kevin De Bruyne. I was bastard on this podcast numerous times because you had Kevin De Bruyne. I didn't have Kevin De Bruyne in my top 5 in the draft, and with every reason.
I'm keeping the faith.
Yeah, it is the second week of the season. And Kevin De Bruyne will be in like top 3 point scoring midfielders. End of discussion.
And you're smug over there on the basis that he was playing really deep, but that was on the other night. But that was in the second half because of the red card.
Like Aguero was a bag of shit.
Oh, he
Everton.
was terrible.
A bag of shit.
Terrible.
An actual bag of shit
Yeah,
in the
I
shape
agree.
of Sergio Aguero.
He hasn't been good in either of the games, and he scored.
Disinterested. So I wouldn't be so mad about Sergio over there.
I'm not mad.
Although I do totally agree with the Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean I like Jesus. I like Jesus, but
it's Pep's. He's got so many players.
Yeah,
he's got such a ridiculous amount of players.
With De Bruyne, all jokes aside with De Bruyne, that was me just talking about being top 5 for
talking
draft.
through your
no, not talking through anything. He's not a top 5 in draft player. He isn't overall. But in terms of midfielders in the standard, he's well worth owning. But at the minute, with the form Mkhitaryan's in, the form Pogba's in, the form Mane's in, the form Eriksen's in, the form Dele Alli's going to be in, like you wouldn't criticise anyone for getting rid of him.
Pogba is the highest point scorer in the game so far.
Yeah.
2 goals, 2 assists.
8.0 million in standard.
Yeah. 8.1 now.
I think
he's going to rise.
I think for that one, it's pretty much you can. I think we're all in agreement. You keep Kane. You can get rid of De Bruyne.
Keep Kane. Consider De Bruyne. If getting De Bruyne out and you can get someone like an Eriksen in who's going to free up funds elsewhere. Like if you need to replace De Bruyne and Jesus and bring in
Marcus Alonso.
is
in
another
the
one.
defence.
Sensitive
7 million.
subject. Mark wasn't happy that I drafted Marcus Alonso ahead
It was
of
a
him.
spike pick. I was laughing.
It was a
at
smart.
Mikey
It was a
for
smart
wanting
pick.
to draft Marcus Alonso so high, and then I waited, and Mikey just stole him.
What's
from
Played
Mikey.
the
done is
long
done
game.
now.
I did
Yeah, anyway,
lull him
we've
into a
got
false
loads
sense
of questions
What's
coming
done
in,
is
so
done, and that free kick, I enjoyed watching that one.
I'm sick. At least I haven't been
8
standing.
goals for Chelsea.
Marcus
you were saying.
Alonso.
Yeah.
8 goals, and he wasn't even
That's astonishing.
signed at this time last season.
Yeah.
It's almost like I told you this a month ago on the podcast. Marcus Alonso has to be. Kane and Alonso are going to be the two best players on fantasy football standard league throughout the whole season.
I hope we record that now.
They
We'll
are.
go back to that at the end of the season.
Alonso would have finished top point scorer in all of fantasy football probably if he'd been there from the start of August. Another interesting one though, when he mentioned that, Miguel Perez has done the stats. It's up on site. James Milner would have been the highest scoring defender last season if he was properly listed as a defender.
Wow.
And he came out. He started in midfield at the weekend, even though
And now he's
didn't
potentially
get on.
going to
Because
be.
of Andy Robertson, who I'm sure we're going to be talking about later in
Yeah.
the show.
We've
We
loads of
should,
questions.
we've a rake of questions. I'm sure we've more actual live questions as well as the ones that we had before.
Look at all this.
Wow, it's brilliant.
mad. We'll get to them.
We'll get there. Connell, formerly Man Like Rooney on Twitter, who's a fan of the show from its origin days, so fair play to you, Connell. He says, Big John Walters not going to start. Do I replace him with Jesse, Richarlison or Ward-Prowse?
I would be going for
James Ward-Prowse?
No. All he has is set pieces.
Really, really tidy, fancy looking set pieces.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going for Richarlison. He is a midfielder in the game, playing up front, basically.
Well, I love, first of all, his three options, Hesse, Richarlison and Ward-Prowse. They're really giving it effort on the pronunciation this week. Those three are available in most leagues. Obviously, Hesse's new to the league. He won't be available after this week because everyone's going to see him in draft. They're also very similarly priced. I think Hesse's only 6 million. Richarlison has gone up to 6.1, I think.
Has he gone up? I think he's still 6.
If he is still 6, I'm 100% getting into my team because I've seen a player bill. Richarlison looks lethal. I will say to Connell to answer that question, my order would be Hesse 1, Richarlison 2, Ward-Prowse 3, purely because I would rely on Stoke to get chances and not just get blown out of games more than Watford.
I would swap around my 1 and 2 there with you and have Richarlison and Hesse.
I like Ward-Prowse, but
Stephen Davis to get you more
Ward-Prowse
points
and-
than Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse and standard maybe because
Yeah.
he's cheaper. The other thing is that builds into the other question that Steve McGovern's asked in terms of Watford, are they the answer to our cheap midfielder striker problems?
Richarlison.
And the other question there is Etienne Capoue. He's back at it again.
He scored a goal. He has scored a goal there.
After how long does it take for us to start paying attention to Etienne Capoue? A
yeah.
season and a bit, and we're all like, no, it's
Hang
just
on.
flash in the pan. It's just flash.
Etienne Capue's got 15 league goals this season, lads. When are we going to discuss him? I don't know about Watford. I definitely know, like, if you're in draft and Richarlison is in your league, get him in.
And in normal fantasy
And in
as
normal
well.
fantasy
He's
at
a
6
midfielder
million.
playing as a striker.
And
essentially.
Watford have a tasty lineup this week as well.
And
Who
they have
they
a good
got?
manager.
They do. That's the other thing. Marco Silva. You saw what Marco Silva did with Kamil Grosicki and Lazar Markovic last season.
Exactly.
Here's my
So
question.
what is he going to do? They're playing Brighton at home, Watford. So this week, Richarlison.
But
Absolutely.
Moy is
Aaron Moy.
5.5.
Aaron Moy should be in a lot of teams. I said
4
last week he's given off real Charlie Adam Blackpool vibes, and I stand by that. He's scoring screaming goals. He's on all of their set pieces. He's a really good player. Him and Marcus Alonso, I think it's just so funny that we're talking about them being these huge influential Premier League points. Like Aaron Moy, did you know a couple of seasons ago he couldn't get a game for St Mirren on loan? Jesus. And now he's like ripping it up at 26. Just goes to show. Stick in there. Don't give up, guys.
Look up some questions from Facebook
let's have them.
Live. We've got lots coming in here. Who are we going to go with first? Question: how do you cope with life when you swapped Marcus Alonso for Kyle Walker before last weekend's round of games? Struggling here, asks Justin
Okay,
Kelly.
well, the first thing you do is you find there's a lot of people in the same boat as you. So I would find someone who's also made that decision and talk about it with them.
A support group.
It's like, yeah.
If only there was a Facebook group you could join called Fantasy Premier League Tips and Advice.
Because that is
Look
a mistake.
up that Facebook group, join it, and then you can discuss it together.
Share, get your feelings out there on play and get some feedback.
On a serious note, that's somebody trying to be too clever. Getting rid of Alonso and putting in Walker.
Trying to be too cute.
Yeah. Just, you got to, if you're spending big on a defender like that, give him a chance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, true. The thing about it's so frustrating for Walker as well because like I the first time I saw it I was like, he's a little knacker. Turned around there and tried to lay one into him, but he's like, that wasn't a red at all.
Yeah.
No.
Kyle Walker's ended off, so I would be legitimately furious.
I had Walker in my team and I had to take him
especially
out.
then you factor in you've removed Marcus Alonso,
Yeah.
who scored 2 banging free kicks. It's a low.
The other thing,
points.
that's it. You have to watch, like, although Chelsea's defence was all over the place against Burnley, Marcus Alonso nearly scored about 7 goals in that match. Like, there's that kind of thing. There's like he's such an attacking. He's probably nearly the best attacking threat at the minute. Oh, speaking of Pedro, he's going to be available in draft leagues to pick up off the waiver wire. Would you pick him up? Would you take a chance?
Yeah.
I don't know, because Hazard's coming back.
Yeah, but he's going to be starting. I'd still say he's going to be starting ahead of Willian.
Really? Because I don't know. Has Willian done it? I think there's questions about Willian.
Willian's been playing well at the moment, but I just feel like Conte prefers Pedro, and he performed for Conte last season. You know, he was very good.
So to answer that question, if you did take Alonso out and put Kyle Walker in, talk to me about it.
Yeah, Justin's got back. He says, I also have Harry Maguire on the bench. I need more than a support group. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
look, just hang in there. I mean, we've all got struggles so far this season. I'll tell you what happened to me.
None that bad.
Monday night, I was coming back. This is sort of a shit story now compared to
Harry Maguire on the bench and Alonso out of the team. It's about 40 points.
I was like driving back up from football training Monday night, and I was like, who am I going to bring in this week? United aren't going to concede a goal until the international break. They're like at the falling around at the minute. So I was like, I'm bringing in Phil Jones. He's 5 million. I'm going to sell Holding. Woke up the next, meant to do it when I got back up, forgot. Woke up the next morning, Holding had dropped in value by 0.1. You drop by 0.1, it is as good as dropping by 0.5, because I had to make 2 transfers. I had to swap a 4.5 million defender for a 4 million defender. By the way, only 4 million defender playing at the moment. Didn't start game week 1, started game week 2. And
Newcastle.
Mbemba, Chancel.
Mbemba for
Chancel and Mbemba.
Newcastle. He's my bargain bucket pick for
Yeah,
this week.
but he's the defender for Newcastle.
Yeah.
He's 4 million and he plays. He's only 4 million playing defender.
Yeah, but
Fair.
still.
Everybody needs a 4 million for a pillow.
Yeah, but you need a 4 million. The 4 million that I would be getting in, because I'm getting rid of Joe Hart out of my team, I'll be getting in Rob Elliott. Rob Elliott's guaranteed to start.
I've had him since week 1.
Do you know what I mean?
Purely to fill a gap.
Guaranteed to
Purely
start.
fill a gap.
Forget about him, Mbemba. He's going to be gone in a week or two.
Chancel.
I can't.
Like Kieran Clark was playing left back for them the other day.
That's no use to me when I have a 4 million goalkeeper already and I have to save 0.5 million somewhere.
Oh, you've got Speroni, do you?
I have Wayne Hennessy. No, I have Speroni, in standard. I got Hennessy.
Wayne Hennessy made 12 saves.
Yeah, I picked up
against
Hennessy in
Liverpool.
draft and left him on the bench.
Jesus.
But sorry, we've got more questions here just coming in.
fire 'em in.
Shane Javi O'Sullivan is asking, is it wild card time? Thomas McLeod? How do you pronounce
McLeod.
McLeod.
Yeah.
Thomas McLeod is asking, is it wildcard time? Mr. Eveson was also asking
Okay.
in the group beforehand, is it wildcard time?
No, but nearly. The international break lands, if I'm right in saying this, the international break lands in between 2 game weeks. So we've the last game week before the international
So we've got
break,
one more game week this week.
I'm saying the transfer window closes
Yeah.
in between 2 game weeks. So you have to wait. I think we've one more game week, then the transfer window closes, and then it's the internationals. So absolutely wait until the transfer window closes before you play your wild card. Hold on for one more week. Take a 4-point hit.
One more week.
Things will change. Things will go your way if you hold on for
Yeah.
one more game day.
I'm taking a 4-point hit this week.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I
so am I.
probably will as well. So no, wait.
But like, I'm making
International
3
break
transfers.
and also I would wait until after the international break, because you've got ages of time. Then you've got about a week to 2 weeks, nearly 10 days
To tinker
after
with your
the window
squad.
closes, to tinker with your squad, and to wait for international injuries, because they will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Marcus Alonso was another one who came in on transfer deadline day. David Luiz last week. David Luiz playing in midfield as well. Conte has finally followed my FIFA tactic.
Yeah.
That brings me to the draft,
Okay.
because I've wavered him, or I've applied for him. Christensen for Chelsea.
Andres Christensen. Yeah.
Yeah, because Louise might be playing in midfield for, let's say, the next 3 weeks.
Foreseeable.
Yeah.
And Christensen is probably not picked up by anybody in the draft. Chelsea player, and everybody was ranting and raving about him last week. So
Yeah, he was.
I'm going to
decent.
go for him.
He's a good player, Christensen. Borussia Mönchengladbach last season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last 2 seasons.
We've got loads of questions here. When's the best time to use bench boost and triple captain, etc.? Asked Was.
I'd be
Double game weeks
Yeah.
end of the season.
I would be keeping them in the locker, but I remember, like, I'm the type of person that loses interest in standard drafts. So by the time it's sensible to play my chips, I don't really care.
But at
anymore.
the same time,
That's what happened to me last year.
At the same time, the manager of the week last week used the bench boost, and he got like over 30 points on the bench.
Yeah,
And
that's
manager of the
great
week.
if you
So-
want to be the manager of the
No,
week. If
but
that's
like
your goal,
not
then-
even that. You just need to have a
Once
look.
in life.
If you
One
look,
day, man.
if you look at your squad, and think that it's going to be worth it, I'd say take the risk, because like it's going to be rare, even in the double game week, that you're going to get more points.
But like, who are you talking about? Triple captain now this week.
Yeah.
Realistically, Kane at home to Burnley is a massive risk.
Massive risk.
Some mad bastards like
Are City playing
United might score 4 against Leicester. I mean, Leicester are goals.
Leicester, you were talking about Harry Maguire. I wouldn't be rushing to get a Harry Maguire or anybody into my team. Leicester were playing Brighton last week. Who first of all can't score, and second of all, Leicester aren't the best defensively.
No, they showed that against Arsenal. They're actually quite poor.
I think,
but who were City playing? Bournemouth.
City.
Or them?
They are playing Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, like there you go now. Like if you, I mean, we were dishing out crap on Aguero, but
literally called him a bag of
but I mean, I would consider, let's say, if you were to use your triple captain, Aguero,
drop it.
But that's it. Someone remember Jeremy that used to be in here, Jeremy Fulham back in the day. Shout out to Jeremy Fulham. He used Aguero against Newcastle 2 seasons ago randomly, and Aguero scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're here going, no, you've got to keep your triple captain for a double game week. I captained triple captain Lukaku in a double game week.
It's all about
feeling. You need to feel it in your plums. Deep in your plums. They need to turn a nice bluish hue, and you need to make that decision yourself.
Paul Johnson asked, should I make Lukaku my captain?
It's great advice. Make that decision yourself. Yeah,
make that decision. Yeah, we've got no advice yet.
I don't know.
Bench boost. So seriously, you're saying bench boost and
bench boost. Hold it. Captain's choice is literally a good.
Bench boost is when it's a double game week.
Ideally, either of them, like in theory, it's smart to use triple captain and bench boost on a double game week. But if it feels right,
let it
do it.
But with the bench boost, what you can do is keep your wild card the week before a double game week, or second wild card, and then you'll have 15 players who are playing a double game week when you use your bench boost. That's the dream. Now don't do what I did last year, which was to forget to wildcard the week before, which meant that I couldn't possibly do that. The other one then I was thinking of this new chip where it's like bringing in an entire new squad for 1 week only.
Free hit.
That has to be FA Cup when there's only like 4 games or something that week, and you can bring in an entire.
But that could also be different because last season a lot of the Premier League teams got far in the FA Cup, whereas sometimes they don't. So there's actually more fixtures. So you could use one of those free hits on a double game week as well.
Yeah.
If you don't have your wild card.
Have we any more questions into the fantasy shed here?
We have loads, but a lot of them are statements. Darren Murphy says, Foster, you nut job. I believe that's in relation to you bringing in Elliott, but Foster's 4.5.
I have Foster in my team.
Yeah,
my 2 keepers are Foster and Elliott.
And that's where you got, there's
Foster the people.
Foster rather than De Gea, and then bring in Paul Jones. Phil Jones is your defender. That's an outlay of 9.5 as opposed to De Gea for 5.5 and then having to bring in a 5 million West Brom defender. What else have we got there? Yeah, Darren Murphy again says West Brom defenders are key. Murphy's obsessed. This Murphy lad with West Brom defenders.
Well, I would go along with this. Because I'm
6'5".
My big question here is in draft. Like I'm holding on to Johnny Evans, and like Johnny Evans is killing me. Because I could have had, first of all, I could have drafted any number of West Brom defenders instead of him, but I thought he'd be the best one. Granted, he's not fit for the start of the season, but like they were saying, it was touch and go week 1. Now the whole Man City thing has come in, and suddenly Johnny Evans doesn't play, and it's as if he can't get into this West Brom team ahead of Higazi, and they're playing Nyam at right back, and like it's all.
Is Nyam
the question
million?
is, I'll actually look that up because that's ridiculous. The question is, when Johnny Evans is ready and fitting out, because I don't think he's going to go to Man City realistically. There we go. Nyam. I'm trying to look up Nyam's price. When Johnny Evans is ready to return, does Nyam come out of the team? Dawson shifts to right back, and they stay with Higazi and Evans? Because if that's the case, get all over the Higazi bandwagon as soon as you can.
Well, Higazi's already gone up to 4.7, and the other 4.7, and he's 6'5", Egyptian beast. He really is.
He's the Egyptian Garrett McCauley as well, and Garrett McCauley is going to come back.
Nyam is 5.0.
5.0.
So you can
forget about him. And you were saying that once Johnny Evans comes back, and if he doesn't go to City, Tony Pulis is a big fan of centre backs.
Big fan of centre backs,
and he just loves playing.
I just think his Britishness as well. But here's another question to throw into the mix: Big Gaz McCauley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. McCauley's going to come back, and he's going to go, sorry, Higazi.
I see that you're 6'5". I see that you're a beast, but I score every week.
Yeah.
I'm Gareth McCauley. I score every week.
Do you know what's going to happen this weekend? Higazi's going to get another goal. I'm telling you.
It's not.
He is.
You've heard it here first.
We should have been recording
live.
this. Oh, wait, we are. More questions. We got right. Again, Darren's in again with West Brom. He loves West Brom.
Oh, my
Sean
God.
Fagan, Paul Pogba, 8 million looking cheap.
8.1 now.
But I tell you what, Paul Pogba, £90 million looking cheap.
Too
much.
Here's the thing: if everyone's jumping on Pogba, though, I have Henrik Mkhitaryan, and I'm very happy with that. He's a great differential.
It's much of a muchness. With
I'm kind of
really
kicking myself because it's one of those ones where as soon as when the day fantasy opens, you can go and put in your team just to fill it. I had Henrik Mkhitaryan in then the whole summer, and I was like, he's going to hit the ground running. Second season, it's all set up for Mkhitaryan, and I was like, I just can't. I don't know if he's going to start. Mata, Rashford, all these additional questions. Turns out, should have stuck with Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be. He's going to be there for the foreseeable.
The thing is, he's just picking up assists.
Yeah,
he's just
4 assists.
Yeah, it's 4, 2 and 2 games.
And he got 1 last season. Yeah. So clearly there's a big difference.
There has been a change. So yeah, what was this? Pogba looking at bargain, Mkhitaryan.
I mean, there's much of a muchness.
Pogba in draft particular was a bargain because he's been the highest scoring midfielder so far, and he fell quite far in the draft. He was like 4th, 5th round.
I have Martial in one of my drafts, and he's doing
be happy with that
for me.
Yeah,
and I think Martial is going to play in the long run.
The thing is, they can't drop Marcus Rashford on recent form.
Yeah,
but then the question is, does Juan Mata come out of the team? But then Mourinho loves Mata because he's kind of change of place. It's all guns blazing, and then Mata's just kind of a more.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's going to be chopping and change between those two because I don't think either of them are comfortable enough on the right hand side.
Yeah.
True enough. Darren Murphy says he wants a Pogba, Mkhitaryan, Eriksen, and Ali midfield. It's very expensive though. You're not going to be able to afford that.
Yeah, you also
get a mortgage for that.
Pogba, I'm always reluctant in having two players from the same team in your line because if they have a bad game, if they have a disaster, your week is out.
Christian Eriksen, though, he's had the most assists in the Premier League for the last 2 seasons. Yeah. So
Christian Eriksen, I consider myself lucky to have Christian Eriksen in one of my draft teams. I think it's the work one as well. Yeah, it is.
But Dele Alli gets the goals, Christian Eriksen gets the assists. Again, it's much of a muchness between the two of them. So it's up to yourself.
Ewan Redmond asks, I have Jesus in my team. Do I give him one more week or put Morata in now?
If it's Jesus or Morata, I give Jesus one more week.
Yeah, because they're playing Bournemouth. And Bournemouth,
The question is, does he start? Does Pep keep the system that he does?
Does Sterling start now? I have Sterling. I have a question for the ball bag. I own Raheem Sterling. I was going to get rid of him this week, obviously. I just didn't want to waste a transfer last week. Now he scored. He might start.
Again, the competition for positions is just so. It all comes down to Pep's going to play this 3-5-2 again against Bournemouth. He's not going to change it. So let's say he goes Aguero and Jesus up front. That means there's 2 wide spots that can either be fullbacks or wingers. So I think because Walker's been sent off, I think Danilo is a lock for right wing back. And then I think you're looking at either Sterling, Sané, Bernardo Silva.
That's it.
Can really come into it on the left.
Sané and Sterling. So Sterling might start, but he was crap until he scored the goal the other night. But I have a question for the ball back. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, is that his name?
Yeah.
What do we think?
I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the type of guy that's a really good pickup if in a draft if you're struggling for a third striker. But in terms of paying in standard,
in standard league, I'm not talking about.
But in a draft, if you're in a pinch, he's someone that will.
It gives you the option of playing 3-4-3 or
What if you own Sandro Ramirez?
Wait it out because he's going to come back and Everton are playing Wayne Rooney as a striker and Calvert-Lewin as a striker. They can't do that all season. Wayne Rooney, after 70 minutes against Man City tonight, was absolutely gassed. They can't ask him to lead the line and chase everyone and press everyone all season long. His role is going to get deeper. He won't be playing centre mid, but he'll be playing back with the Gilfies rather than leading the line with Calvert-Lewin and the lads around him. So I would say hold on to Sandro for a little while because he's the type of guy that when he comes into the team he could have a big impact.
There aren't strikers in draft anyway to pick up off the waiver wire. There's such a dearth of strikers. Yeah. Again, as I was saying last week, if you're playing draft next season, my only plan going into our draft was to draft 2 strikers in the first 2 rounds, and I didn't do it, and I really, really regret it. But anyway, moving on. John Connolly says, don't take out City players with dodgy Bournemouth. Next, Everton are solid, just in the last question. He also says Captain McGregor this week, which is the first mention of McGregor in the podcast. Hey. Gotten on very good.
Captain McGregor, fair play.
Mark Stevenson asks, who is the best value midfielder? Which Barry Bear responds to with Aaron Moy. But what do you think, lads? Who's the best value?
Well, I'm super high on Aaron Moy because I played his case last week. I put faith in him. I got him in both of my draft teams and my standard team, and he delivered the goods straight away.
Okay, fair enough.
The thing is, when the fixtures get more tough,
4.5.
Although they're at home to Southampton this week.
Southampton
are definitely capable of going there and getting a result, but Huddersfield are. I'm just loving Huddersfield's buzz. at the minute. I think they're riding a bit of a wave.
The keeper got is the highest.
Lossell.
Yeah, but anyway, best value midfielders have to be Mkhitaryan or Pogba.
Yeah.
They're 8 million
Yeah.
and they're playing for United. They're like, $1.5 million cheaper than City, Spurs players. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And they're the 2 highest point scorers.
To be
in
fair,
midfield.
I didn't think Swansea looked awful until he got that one goal, and then when the second goal came, they fell apart.
it's
But
the
Tom
same-
Carroll is going to be important throughout the season. He really is, and he's only
Yeah.
4.5 million.
He's a great draft option.
He's coming out of my
or
draft
a money
league.
saving.
4.5 million.
Yeah, but,
I know value
at
means
the end of the
you could be
day,
great value at
it's
11
a
million.
Swansea midfielder.
Tammy
Yeah.
Abraham missed another chance again.
Swansea are the same as Newcastle for me at the minute, in that when they pack in and they say, right, come and break us down, they look like a team that can cope with it and can keep it tight. But as soon as they concede that goal, they're shagged.
Yeah,
Okay.
also Tammy Abraham. What are you going to say about him?
He missed another chance again.
Tammy Abraham's another good player who's working really hard and trying really hard, but it's just not there
Okay,
for him at the
not
minute. If
happening.
he was one of my strikers,
Not
I would
happening at all.
I would be
Yeah.
very nervous.
Chicharito, 38 Premier League
Chicharito,
goals.
I think we
all,
saw
all inside the box.
and 30 more.
A
to come
fox
this
in the
season.
box.
Maybe not in the
So,
Premier League.
I mean, he is an option.
He drafted really high, Chicharito, and he drafted high for a reason, and we saw that reason in the game there. His 2 goals.
His second goal. I loved his second goal.
He's just all about being there. Like, Antonio takes that shot, not even trying to score. Because he knows if the keeper gets in the way of this, there's a better than 50-50 chance
Antonio's back
that
as
Javier
well,
gets in the end. Yeah.
which is an option. He chips.
He's an
chips in.
assist machine.
Assist
And it
machine,
comes from...
and he loves it. He loves it.
He seems to
Yeah,
be playing
he loves
number
it.
10 role
He's
as well.
actually, yeah, he do. They give him like a free thing. They usually start him on the right, and then you just do whatever you want to do, because like he has this awful shooting technique that doesn't.
It's like my shooting technique.
And it just kind of, it's not like we talked about Mata taking these nice considered touches. Antonio's the opposite, where he just kind of barges the ball in the general direction of the goal. But keepers parry them because they're unexpected shots, and then in comes the little P to tidy up with his little
P.
sweeping brush.
I think Little P, like West Ham have difficult run of fixtures though as well.
They're
Like,
away to Newcastle this week. though.
yeah, and then after that,
there
I
should
think
be
and I think
Hollis-
Chicharito likes an
Hollis.
old goal against Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
So
Loves,
Chicharito's
loves
like
the
goals.
stage.
it's a little P.
He's
it's
a
hard
good-
to
he's a
Little
good
P.
man.
You've got Little P or Rooney. Like they're around the same price. Rooney,
I'm
y-
taking Hernandez every day.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just
Anyway.
for the accidental goals that Hernandez will score.
Exactly.
He will pick you up 10 to 15 accidental goals a season.
Justin Kelly actually asked on that. He is Chicharito, Rooney, and Lukaku up front. Would you change any?
I'd be getting rid of Rooney or Chicharito anyway.
I'd be getting, maybe I'd consider Rooney, but like who? There's not that many fantastic options out there.
Padraig Stapleton, are Spurs players worth ditching with the Wembley factor?
No.
I don't know if there's as much of a Wembley factor. There is that
Spurs
problem.
played well.
We see.
I think
I tell you what, we'll
defenders,
see
though.
this week. We will see this week just how big it is, because as I said, Burnley are rolling into town. They'll have their allotment filled. Every team that travels to Spurs, they're going to have fans in a party atmosphere, because it feels like they're going. Did you ever, when you're on a school holiday, did you ever like have to go to the school for something, and as soon as you're driving into school, you're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what the opposite is like for Wembley. Every time you're going in, you're like, whoa, we're in a cup final
Yeah.
here.
The only
We
thing
shouldn't
is-
be here, and
and-
teams are rising.
yeah.
It's happening, and we'll see. Well, it might. We'll see what happens with Burnley. this week.
Midfielders and strikers, well, I wouldn't be worried about. But defenders, I mean, that's a big pitch to press the entire game. I think we're going to
This
see
whole
goals
pitch
late
thing,
on.
It's only like a yard or 2 yards wider.
It's like-
come on.
It's like 600 square yards bigger.
I mean,
It is massive pitch.
Harry Kane hasn't scored a goal in the month of August
But
in the
they
Premier
say-
League, but he's going to break that though.
The experts.
Yeah,
The
Kane,
experts.
it's not Kane, it's defenders I'm talking about. In terms of conceding goals late on. They get tired, they're going to get loose, and they're going to concede goals.
Spurs.
And Hugo Lloris is
Possibly.
doing nobody any favours as well.
Yeah. He's fucking throwing balls into the net. Anyway, we really have to go soon.
Yeah, we
have
do.
about
We should
4
move
days.
on. Maybe if we
Captain's
don't, if
pick. We need to do captain's
Is there
pick.
any unmentioned waivers there that we?
I've mentioned all my three: Calvert-Lewin, Christensen, and Richarlison.
Okay.
Richarlison
Pedro
is my
was
pick of the
possible
week.
waiver pickup.
Richarlison is my pick of the week in draft and in normal fantasy.
Yeah.
Midfielder,
Okay. Yeah.
playing
So
for-
my waivers would be Hesse, Richarlison, Andrew Robertson. If like
Yeah, he played well.
What an impression he made
But
on his debut.
before you go ahead, Robertson played, right? And then everybody had Trent Alexander-Arnold in from the first game. Didn't play last week.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful of that kind of situation.
Yeah.
You
It
don't want
is
to put him,
to
waste
be
a transfer on
considered.
him and then he's not playing.
Yeah. But I think Robertson would be safe for the future, considering just how he put a lot of whippage.
Okay.
A lot of whippage.
You don't care about normal fantasy.
Pretty
But who
much.
is going to be your captain this week?
My captain is going to be Roberto Firmino,
Interesting.
because he's playing against Arsenal.
Okay. He likes a goal.
Roberto Firmino likes to score goals against Arsenal.
If Milner
the other choice is obviously Harry Kane at home to Burnley, but
yeah, Harry Kane's
if I'm looking at like a possibly Harry Kane going another game without a goal, it becoming a whole thing before the international break, or Roberto Firmino against Arsenal, I'm going to go with Roberto Firmino. Also, just one last waiver shout there. Wesley Holt. Is
he another Huddersfield?
No, he is a Southampton new signing. They've given him the number 6. And I think the goal.
I see where you're going.
I think the goal is for Wesley Holt, Wesley Dutch name, and Virgil van Dijk to be there too once they Coutinho Van Dijk back into play.
My captain's choice this week is Lukaku. I would say I would probably go. Would I go with Kane? I'd go with Kane or Ali. Probably if I own them, but I don't own them, so I'm going to captain Lukaku.
It'd be a bad move to captain.
But
Kane
just in general, for anyone who's looking for that advice.
Yeah.
So we've got Harry Kane, Firmino, and Lukaku.
That's 3 different captains for this.
Interesting.
Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much to everybody who got in touch, both on Facebook Live and across our various other channels. A quick reminder, we do have a Balls Fantasy Premier League tips and advice group set up for moral support when you've made that decision to drop Marcus Alonso for Kyle Walker, and then he gets sent off, and you've got
Harry Maguire on the bench.
If you want to stay behind after and have a chat, that's absolutely fine. Whoever got that comment
Someone else was also saying Walker and Cahill have got me a combined total of -5 points in 2 weeks.
Christ,
there's been an awful lot of this week where I've 2 weeks now in a row I haven't had 11 players get points. I had 8 players got points in game week 1, haven't all 11 played.
Yeah, that's something that was a problem I had in week 1 and then solved with my waiver acquisitions for week 2. A reminder as well, you can contact any of us as well as the Balls account on Twitter with questions, and we'll be back on Facebook Live next week. So
what's your Twitter account?
Then, at Mikey Trainer, I've rebranded.
J_Carol15.
And Mark Farley 131.
There you go. Get
Tongue
it down,
twisters.
get following, and we'll talk about fantasy football. Until next time, from all of us at Balls.ie, thank you very much.